What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and got some very, very important updates for you today. It's all COVID related, but it's also Dolphins related, as the Dolphins have now experienced their first positive COVID test. And as I told you guys, if you thought that the Dolphins were going to be able to remain unaffected and immune to this, well, that's not the case. And now it is official. Dolphins assistant tests positive for COVID-19, Miami in NFL's intensive protocol. The protocol is total fucking bullshit, but okay, whatever. And I mean, they're not shutting down the facility, and they still intend to play a game in literally 3 days from now. So, or excuse me, 2 days from now. So, I mean, it's how intensive could the protocol really be? If you're not even going to shut down the facility, they're doing a walkthrough. I mean, unless it's virtual, I don't know, maybe, but, they're doing a walkthrough, they're not shutting down, and they intend to play literally in 2 days. Okay. The Miami Dolphins announced Friday they've entered the NFL's intensive coronavirus protocol after an assistant coach tested positive for COVID-19 ahead of Sunday's Week 9 game against the Arizona Cardinals. And then they provide a link to the full statement. The Dolphins are still expected to have a walkthrough practice later Friday and remain scheduled to face the Cardinals per Tom Pelissero and Mike Garofalo of the NFL Network. I mean, it's such a shit show. Anyway, you guys get it. Miami joined the Atlanta Falcons, who also announced a positive test among its staff. In entering the more intensive protocols, the Falcons are going to work virtually Friday. A troublesome trend is beginning to develop after 9 players from 5 teams were added to the reserve COVID-19 list Thursday. The United States continues to see a rise in cases, reaching an all-time high of more than 121,000 new positives Thursday, per CNN's Christina Maxouras. And we're on pace to even set another record today. Congratulations, America, you fucking suck. The NFL showed a greater tolerance of playing despite coronavirus concerns by allowing Thursday night's game between the Green Bay Packers and San Francisco 49ers after 3 members of the Niners roster were put on the reserve list earlier in the day. Not to mention the fact that the Green Bay Packers also had at least one of their players test positive who played in their previous game. Anyway, after the league played the first 3 weeks of the regular season without issue, that's not accurate. They didn't play without issue. There were still fucking positives. There were still fucking... Well, I mean, what a dumb thing to say. Whatever. But it's propaganda. That's all it is. This is from Yahoo Sports. This article, I believe. Actually, no. This one is on Bleacher Report. And I don't know what the source article is. Either way, though, I mean, it's just nothing but fucking propaganda, basically. Most media, mainstream media these days, is nothing but fucking propaganda. The next 2 weeks were filled with schedule alterations that included moving bye weeks around to keep the campaign within the typical structure of 17 weeks. Such changes will become harder moving forward as teams use their bye week, so there will be additional pressure to play games if the league office wants to avoid adding a week to the end of the season to ensure each club plays its full slate. Preparations are being made in case that's not possible, though. ESPN's Chris Mortensen reported Monday the NFL Competition Committee is considering a 16-team playoff field with 1 extra team from each conference if the coronavirus ultimately leads to an unbalanced schedule. First of all, overall, it's 2 additional teams from each conference because they already increased it, not because of coronavirus, to be fair, but just as part of the new collective bargaining agreement. But if they do that, that's literally half of the NFL. I mean, I don't understand how people would look at that and not see how that degrades the quality of the game overall. But it just, again, goes to show you that they don't care about people's health and they don't care about the quality of the game. The only thing they care about is making sure the games get played so they can continue to rake in billions of dollars. That said, so far, no changes have been made to the Week 9 schedule. The Dolphins and Cardinals are set for a 4:25 p.m. Eastern kickoff Sunday at State Farm Stadium, which would be about 1:25 my time, Pacific. But I mean, look, and frankly, as far as I'm concerned, it seems to me that while it is true the NFL has put out some memos on, supposedly stricter guidelines, like, what was one of them? something about fucking now all of a sudden they have to fucking wear fucking masks all the time on the sidelines or some shit like that, and they weren't doing it before. Fucking disaster. Whatever. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but you know, supposed stricter guidelines, but their actions really are proving to be quite the opposite, because they're actually shutting down even less, right? They've had all of these fucking outbreaks recently, or all these positive tests, and the only facility to shut down recently has been the 49ers. They're having tests like literally before the game, or positive tests before the game, a day before the games, 2 days before the games, not shutting anything down, not rescheduling any more games. So, I mean, it's just a sick fucking joke. And somebody's gonna fucking die eventually, man. I mean, I don't want it to happen, but it's gonna happen because they just don't give a shit. So, anyway, real quick though, I do want to move, same topic, although not as specifically related to the Dolphins, but, you know, same overall topic. This is from Yahoo Sports. 15 NFL teams currently have COVID-19 issues. So almost half the league currently has either players or coaches who have tested positive, or players who are being put on the COVID-19 list for at least having come into contact with somebody. If only the pandemic truly had disappeared after the election. The nationwide COVID-19 outbreak continues, with six-figure cases and single-day records over each of the past 2 days, likely to have that same trend today, and the NFL is feeling the impact of it. Currently, 15 teams have issues with the virus in one form or another. In no particular order, they are the Ravens, Texans, Colts, Broncos, Chiefs, Cowboys, Packers, Bears, 49ers, Cardinals, Eagles, Raiders, Lions, Falcons, and Dolphins. That's nearly half the league presently struggling with some issue or another related to the pandemic. As we've repeatedly said, as long as the pandemic is endemic in our society, there will be positive cases, particularly as we see spikes in our communities. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy said via email earlier this week. What he didn't say is, but we don't care. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care because all we care about is our money. We don't care if we're risking people's lives. We don't care the long-term damage that it does. We don't care. That's the little part that he left out of that. Let's see. Our protocols anticipate that and are designed to identify early, isolate the individual, and stop the virus from spreading within a team. First of all, even if they can stop the virus from spreading within a team after any particular positive test, they've obviously been proven wrong, and that they can stop the spread to begin with. Every week there are more positive tests. Every week. So it doesn't matter if you can isolate one or two dudes, teams are still going to get it. You're not going to fucking stop it. And even that, they haven't proven to be 100% at being able to stop spread within a fucking team. So, you know, obviously the protocols are not fucking good enough, and it also doesn't acknowledge or take into account or give a fuck about the fact that it does incredible amounts of damage to the human body, even if it doesn't kill you while you have the virus. They literally just don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Why the fuck do people not understand this? Why do people have to literally fucking get it and die before they understand it? I mean, it's too late then, but, you know, what the fuck ever, bro. I mean, it's the same thing. Sorry to fucking sidestep here on topic a little bit, but it's the same thing with this fucking bullshit sham-ass election. The Democrats fucking rigged the primary against Bernie Sanders, so there was no progressive candidate left. Biden goes in, it's fucking shit show the entire way. It doesn't actually matter who fucking wins, because at the end of the day, the elites win. The rich and powerful win. Nothing is gonna fucking change, and the world is gonna continue to devolve and fall apart right in front of our fucking eyes, because people keep falling for the fucking bullshit fucking lies that they peddle, and the propaganda that's given out, and they just eat it up and fucking would rather go to brunch and they're fucking back to sleep and in their fucking safe little bubbles, which are gonna get burst one way or the other. So, I mean, people need to wake up, but people have also proven that they don't fucking care to, don't want to, or too stupid to, so here we the fuck are. Great. Well, you all, everybody who fucking, you know, fails to listen, is gonna fucking learn the hard way. You can hate me and be upset at me all you want. I don't give a fuck. You're an idiot and you're gonna find out the hard way. So if that's your mode of thinking, like these kind of fucking people, or like the people that continue going to the games, frankly, or even, you know, I hate to say it, even the fucking players and the coaches at this point that are allowing this to continue, and they keep fucking, although look, to be 100% right, so the NFL now, as far as responsibility goes, it ranges, right? There's a spectrum and it starts at the top. The NFL has the absolute most responsibility for allowing this to continue with the owners, same amount. They're right there in the same category. The NFL and the owners have the same culpability, which is the majority of it. Then you have the front offices for all of these teams that are co-signing onto that, along with the NFLPA, okay, that are co-signing along onto the continuation of the season. Then you have, you know, lower level fucking front offices, the NFLPA, and head coaches, because head coaches are essentially part of front office personnel. Their job is that, you know, high up there or whatever. So you have the NFLPA, the franchise front offices, their GMs and so on, and then their head coaches. That's the next level of culpability. Then you have the lower level, front office personnel and coaching staff members, because they could be speaking out more about it, right? You know, they could be fucking saying more, but they're not. They're just fucking going along. Business is fucking usual. Now, again, the lower you get, though, the less culpability and responsibility they do have, even though they could, you know, say more about it. They could stop participating in it, right? That's why even the players and the low-level coaches and stuff have a level of responsibility here, because they could just say, look, enough is enough, but they don't. The difference there, the big difference is they have the least amount of power, right? And they have the most to lose. So that's why they do still have some responsibility, but the least amount. I mean, like, I don't know what it's going to take for people to fucking... But we are literally so individualistic at this point, so divided, so fucking greedy, so selfish. Like, I mean, it's impossible to fucking... Not to mention, you know, the level of stupidity that is rampant among humans, Americans in particular, but it's just impossible to fucking get people to wake up as a whole and to fucking come together to actually do the things necessary to solve the fucking problems. So, you know, buckle up. The world is gonna fucking destroy itself because humans fucking suck. Let's see. The protocols have worked. That is not true. Who the fuck looks at this and says, literally, this author or writer or whatever is literally in the middle of talking about how half of the league's teams are dealing with the pandemic, and then they say that the protocols have worked. Really? But that, again, just goes to show you, one, the level of stupidity, because while there is a substantial chance this writer doesn't actually believe that bullshit, there are so many people that do believe that bullshit. They read this propaganda and they're like, yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter that we've set record number of cases in the country the past few days. It doesn't matter that half the fucking league has fucking COVID-19 problems. It doesn't matter that, you know, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. None of the facts actually fucking matter. We're just going to peddle to you that things have been working wonderfully and everything's good to go. Let's continue on as fucking normal. Okay, well, you can go fuck yourselves. And again, everybody's going to find out the fucking hard way. Anyway, so I just got an alert that the MLB is not going to punish Josh Turner at all for going into the fucking scrum with his fucking teammates after they won the World Series and possibly infecting a bunch of them because he took his mask off. I mean, it's a joke. And then real quick, also, the Raiders, they were fined $500,000. They were... John Gruden was fined $150K, and they took one of the Raiders' 6th-round picks. I mean, it's not an adequate solution. It's not going to stop anything. It's not going to solve the problem whatsoever. It only is going to cause more problems. Anyway, let's see. let's see. Let me continue on with this dumbass statement, though. The protocols have worked, and it's a testament to the hard work of thousands of individuals. No, it's not. That's not to say that there aren't thousands of people trying to make this work. Yes, there are. But it's not working. It's not working. The fact that it's clearly not working. Like, what alternate reality do you have to fucking live in where you say that the protocols are working, but we're still getting cases? And fucking, because if the protocols were working, you wouldn't get cases. And the only right protocol anyway is to not even fucking do it in the first place. That's how you ensure that you get the desired result. Because that is the desired result. 0 cases. Well, that should be the desired result anyway, except, of course, we know it's not. The desired result is rake in billions of dollars. Who fucking cares how many people's lives we have to risk? Not to mention the fucking ungodly amount of injuries. It's absurd. It takes all of us, we knew it was going to be difficult, but we don't give a fuck. It takes all of us working every day to continue to meet this challenge. But they're not. They're failing pretty fucking miserably at it. And, again, they just don't care. He's right on all counts. Not even close, but okay. But it won't get any, I'm sorry, those weren't the statements of the author of this article. To be clear, those were the statements of NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy. But the author of this article then goes on to say he's right on all accounts, which is not even close. Not even close. But then they go on to say, but it won't get any easier as the virus continues to spread in the places where NFL teams are located, unless and until the league implements home market bubbles. All players, coaches, and essential personnel will leave the facility each day and go to a place where they could contract the virus. Dude, a bubble's not going to work. It's not going to work, I'm telling you. Anyway, between the incubation period and the lag between test collection and test result, infected players and coaches can enter the building and spread it before anyone even realizes what has happened. And yet, the author agrees that the protocols have worked. I mean, literally, it doesn't matter how much contradiction there is. It doesn't matter how much it doesn't make sense. People still eat it up and buy into it. That's why every coach should be explaining every day to every player and staff member that it should be assumed that everyone in the building has it, because anyone can have it on any given day. But they don't. And if that was your assumption, you wouldn't be playing a fucking season. If you literally had to fucking, if to make this work, you had to have the mentality that everybody has it, and you continuously see positive cases and it continues to cause substantial issues, the right answer wouldn't be let's continue the fucking season. Anyway. Masks, distancing, and all other protocols become critical to avoid an outbreak that can cancel games, wipe out game checks, and otherwise derail a season that somehow has made it through 8 full games with all games played. But it's been a giant fucking disaster. And it hasn't solved any of the problems whatsoever. Name me one problem that's been solved. Nobody can name a problem regarding any of this that has been adequately addressed. I don't know why I couldn't think of that for a second. Adequately addressed, except for the mitigation of financial losses for the NFL and the owners. I'll wait, because you ain't gonna fucking be able to give me anything. Anyway, so look, disaster, and like I said, if the Dolphins thought that, and now we'll have to wait and see, man. We'll have to wait and see, if they end up with any more positives, or if they can maintain just the one. But now that fucking whoever that assistant coach is, their life is in jeopardy. Not just while they have it, but even afterwards, because it could cause such devastating effects to their body that they could end up having an aneurysm or a blood clot or a stroke or something like that, or heart failure or fucking, lung failure or anything. All kinds of different myocarditis, whatever, however you pronounce it. There could be a myriad of issues that take place, and that person's life could be in jeopardy now. But The NFL doesn't care. The most important thing, continue fucking games. And look, now the Dolphins are literally about to play in 2 days against the Arizona fucking Cardinals. Okay, bro. I mean, people gotta learn the fucking hard way. So with that, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspectives. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.